Rolando, welcome to Nights to Know. Again, we thank Legatus for bringing you to us. And in your abstracts, the first speaks of how vitally important a tiny piece of information can become. And you use as an example, Adam, how the apple visited upon humanity all manner of consequences. Can you tell us what you think of how iconic the apple is today?
Thank you, Tom. Well, the idea of Adam's paradox is to portray how important a tiny piece of information is. I took the idea from Marshall McLuhan's idea. Once we have information, and with the media, we have this overloaded stream of information, how is that it can affect us? So in the case of Adam, we knew that there was only one rule to comply with. It was stay away from the tree of wisdom, and he disobeyed it. And probably his intention wasn't as ill as we can think about. There are different interpretations, but he wanted to become more like God. Some people think, oh man, he wanted to be God. No, he wanted to become more because he understood that he was good. But he got this tiny piece of information that made him aware of his frailty and his time, and basically that he was mortal. So anxiety aroused for the first time. So that relates with McLuhan's idea of an overloaded stream of information. The more information we have, the more anxious we are, because there's a lot of information that is useless in terms that we cannot change the facts. That's how it's related with Adam's paradox. If he hadn't gone for the apple, we will be happy in paradise, I guess.
I suppose.
As we see what's going on right now with all these mainstream media, internet, all the information that we have come to a point where we are not stopping to reflect on what is this information helping me with, or how relevant it is for my life. This generation is more into a pattern recognition, which is kind of dangerous, because then we are giving our faculty to think to media. We are not thinking or making a stop to think what is that we are getting into our brain. And the problem is that once you get a piece of information, there's another one coming in, and it seems that if you stop to make a reflection, you get out of the loop.
Yeah.
So the problem I see is with the upcoming generations. What is our legacy to these upcoming generations? It's pure manipulation. There's this work from Roland Barthes. It's a French philosopher who it's a semiotician. Semiotics is the study of signs. So what he says is, once you strip a sign from its real context and expose it to media, you can build whatever you want. And for example, a sign can be a freedom fighter. We were talking about Ernesto Che Guevara, which was which helped the Cuban Revolution to take place. Well, we have this iconic image of this guy with his hat, with this red
bandana.
star or the bandana, and the hair flying, and most of the people related to a freedom fight. But if you put him back into context, you just have to Google Ernesto Che Guevara, and you will see the real guy. He was a hired gun. There's this famous photograph of him shooting four girls, probably 14 years old, cold-blooded. And that was the guy. But now, with all the propaganda and all the media, he's an icon. So Barthes says that we build myths. And once we have a myth, we can have followers, and then you have a herd that you can manipulate. So that's the danger of not stopping to reflect about the context. I think that our duty now is to show the upcoming generations to put things into context. Try to move it back. We have talked about the beauty industry. Beauty industry takes everything out of the context.
Our self-perceptions are generally kind of harsh and unbecoming when really that's not how the world sees us.
You have to be wider or smaller or whatever. But if you put it back into context and you follow whatever the beauty industry rules are gives you, you will find that it's you have to spend a lot of money and you have to go through some risky procedures. So it's not as smooth and pretty as they show it. Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit of the idea of putting back things into context.